I'll wait to see your golden smile, feel of 1,000 kisses.
Hey guys, we are back with another episode containing no sailing whatsoever, but if you watched our previous one, you probably got your fill of it anyway. It's May 2023, and what better way to end our journey in the beautiful country of Turkey than to return to the incredible city of Istanbul.
When the new subway system was being generated for Istanbul, and also these new underwater tunnels that go under the possibilities of flora that grew there. So it's a really rich, beautiful place. It's an initial story as a settlement. And again, why I...
Deepest part of the Bosphorus. Now we're going back up again. Got to the hotel and we used points and they upgraded us, which is nice because we got a shower and it's see-through and you can see the bed on the other side. It's a nice room. They brought us a dog bed and chocolate strawberries and dog dishes for her. Yeah, this view is very nice. It's gonna be hard going back to boat living after this. The Golden Horn is considered to be the world's largest natural harbor. It's an inlet of the Bosphorus and separates the European side of Istanbul into two different shorelines. There are 4 bridges that connect the two sides of Istanbul together, with the Galata Bridge being the most famous. The Byzantine Empire had its naval headquarters here, and the harbor played an important role in the development of the city. It was often the subject of attacks. To protect the city of Constantinople, as Istanbul was named at the time, 2 security measures were put in place. The first was the construction of a wall along the shoreline, and the second was an enormous iron chain that stretched from Constantinople to the Galata Tower, which would prevent ships from entering the Golden Horn. We are on Tool Street looking for an air compressor with her in our beach cart. Galata Tower, right where our hotel is. We're on the Golden Horn right now. The Bosphorus is actually over there where the Asian side, and then we have the European side of Istanbul where we are. Donovan won't let me go in there. This is basket heaven. Donovan knows how obsessed I am with baskets. And like the amount of pedestrians here is crazy. The Grand Bazaar is not only the largest and most famous covered market in Istanbul, it's actually one of the largest in the world. There are over 60 covered streets and more than 4,000 shops, attracting between 250,000 and 400,000 visitors per year. The Spice Bazaar, also known as the Egyptian Bazaar, is one of the oldest markets in Istanbul. There you can find typical products like spices, sweets, and nuts. It's very close to the Galata Bridge.
We're not moving.
Tried to go into the spice market behind me, but it was absolutely freaking nuts in there. There was no way. The Galata Bridge is the first bridge as you enter the Golden Horn, and it unites old Istanbul with the new, more modern Istanbul, both of which are on the European side of the Bosphorus. It connects two very important parts of the city, but more importantly, it also connects different cultures. At the bottom of the bridge, you can find several restaurants and cafes overlooking an incredibly busy and popular fishing spot.
I would love to know how this cat got to the rooftop because it was not with the elevator or the stairs. And as you can see from the background, we are way up there. Is that where you're gonna go to the bathroom? Alrighty. The beginning of our breakfast is never ending. Green melon, figs, cheese, olives, cucumbers, tomatoes, and now comes all the little 15 different pots of stuff. That peanut butter is amazing. Make some room. This is ridiculous. This is a poached egg with yogurt on top and very spicy pepper. And Donovan got some sort of beef sausage. So this is tourist heaven because every person that you see pretty much, I mean there's some that are obviously just walking, but pretty much every single person that you see is in some sort of line to get into one of the mosques.
We're now enjoying a tour of the Basilica Cistern with our friend Yildiz. There are hundreds of cisterns beneath the city of Istanbul, and the Basilica Cistern is the largest of them all. It was built in the 6th century during the reign of the Byzantine Emperor Justinian. It is 9,800 square meters and capable of holding 80,000 cubic meters of water. The ceiling is supported by 336 marble columns, 9 meters high, arranged in 12 rows of 28 columns each, spaced 5 meters apart. The capitals of the columns are mainly in the Ionic and Corinthian style, with a few Doric capitals in between. The majority of the columns appear to be recycled from the ruins of older structures, likely brought in from various parts of the empire. They're carved out of different types of marble and granite. The water came from Belgrade Forest, 19 kilometers north of the city, which then traveled down to the cistern through 2 aqueducts.
That looks like me in the morning.
With the snails, with the snakes in your hair?
Yeah.
Those are the snakes in your hair.
In the northwest corner of the cistern, we found the bases of 2 columns carved with the face of Medusa. The origin is unknown, but it's believed that they were brought in after being removed from a building of the late Roman period. Supposedly, the blocks are laying sideways and inverted to negate the power of Gorgon's gaze. In Greek mythology, the Gorgons were 3 monstrous sisters, of which one is Medusa, who were daughters of the primordial sea god Phorcys and the sea monster Ceto, and who were able to turn anyone who looked at them into stone.
Mosque. It's going to be a little chaotic. There's a million people.
The Blue Mosque, also known as the Sultan Ahmed Mosque, is an Ottoman-era historical imperial mosque. It was built between 1609 and 1617 and remains a functioning mosque today. It's one of the most famous and iconic monuments of the Ottoman era. The mosque has a classic Ottoman layout with a central dome surrounded by 4 semi-domes over the prayer hall. It has a large courtyard and 6 minarets. Minarets are a type of tower typically built into or adjacent to a mosque and generally used to project the Muslim call to prayer. The lower walls are covered in Izmik tiles featuring a lot of colorful cypress trees, fruits, and flowers. A total of 21,043 tiles featuring over 50 different designs are found inside the mosque. The walls above the tilework are mostly decorated with painted motifs, of which the color blue is predominant and one of the reasons why it's called the Blue Mosque. The mosque has over 260 windows to allow natural light. Some of the colorful glass in the windows was manufactured locally and some of it was imported from Venice. In order to respect the mosque's sanctity and Islamic traditions, visitors are required to follow a modest dress code that covers their shoulders and knees. Women wear headscarves and wear long pants or a long dress. There are scarves that can be borrowed at the front entrance. Men should wear pants that cover their legs and shirts with sleeves. All visitors should remove their shoes before entering the mosque. The ice cream vendors here are also magicians and put on a great show to attract the customers. They work out of a cart or a small shop amongst all the incredible mosques and various sites. They pound and knead the ice cream as if it's bread dough. They use long metal rods to scoop up the ice cream, called dondurma, and break out into a magic show full of tricks.
Hagia Sophia. So
Like 532.
the Hagia Sophia was built in
Crazy when you
532.
think about it, you know.
And the Blue Mosque was built in 1616. 1616.
And the Topkapı where we will go, it's 1465.
1465 is the next mosque we're gonna go see.
So all the big mosques around here, it's around 1550, 1660, around that range.
Jesus.
The Hagia Sophia Grand Mosque is a major cultural center and historical site in Istanbul. It was built by Byzantine Emperor Justinian as a Christian church, Holy Wisdom of God. It was completed in less than 6 years in 537 AD. It later became a mosque, then a museum, and most recently a mosque once again. The structure reflects all of the religious changes it has gone through over the centuries, including minarets and Islamic inscriptions, as well as beautiful mosaics of Christianity. In 1934, Turkish President Atatürk secularized the building and it was turned into a museum. In 1985, it was designated a component of the UNESCO World Heritage Site in the historic area of Istanbul. President Erdogan decided to convert the museum back into a mosque in 2020.
Yeah, it used to be like this. So from the sun and everything, that it's getting lighter and lighter. Here's obviously all the big buildings. Minaret.
Minaret.
Yeah, Turkish it's minaret, but so they added them, right? Because when it was a church, they didn't have them. So these they added when they transformed it into a mosque. Not recently, but I mean, in the
So this was a church. up to, they called it a church and then a museum. And they added the minarets and it became a mosque. This church is called Hagia Irini. This is the harem of the Sultan, where all the women lived. So only women were allowed in here.
The Topkapı Palace is a large museum and library that served as the administrative center of the Ottoman Empire and was the main residence of the sultans from the 1460s until the completion of the Dolmabahce Palace in 1856. Construction began about 6 years after the conquest of Constantinople. Topkapı means cannon gate. It consists of 4 main courtyards and many smaller buildings. Female members of the Sultan's family lived in the harem. In 1923, at the end of the Ottoman Empire, the palace was officially transformed into a museum.
The toilets?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they were, really.
Yeah.
It was the first toilets that they had.
Yeah, they had some interesting ones in Ephesus. Right.
But what is important is that you had the sewage system.
Yeah.
You know, going. This was the hammam in use.
Wow. This is beautiful.
The palace complex is located at the highest point of land overlooking the Golden Horn where the Bosphorus meets the Marmara Sea.
Oh, this is so cute. This is beautiful.
Dolmabahce Palace is located on the European coast of the Bosphorus Strait. It served as the main administrative center of the Ottoman Empire after the Topkapı Palace, with the most recent time being from 1909 to 1922. It was built in the mid-1800s because the Sultan at the time felt that the Topkapı Palace was lacking in contemporary style, luxury, and comfort, and he wanted to live in a more modern palace. The founder and first president of Turkey, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, used the palace as a presidential palace during the summers. He spent the last days of his life in the palace, where he died in November of 1938. It is the largest palace in Turkey with 285 rooms, 46 halls, 6 baths, and 68 toilets.
We're on the Asian side now. We crossed the Bosphorus, which is right there. We're heading kind of north-ish to go meet with our friend for lunch. At all these little cafes, they put a table out and show you what all their food looks like. So this place right here has this the French consulate, where I am going to hopefully be picking up my French passport and my identity card. Last day at the hotel in Istanbul with this breakfast that we've had every single morning, and it's really depressing because it's such a delicious breakfast. I got a little petit pain au chocolat. This is called gözlemi. I don't know what that's called, but it's absolutely delicious. And then you got your potato, crushed olives on top of the salad, like 15 different little pots of deliciousness, cheeses, nuts, eggs, Nutella, this peanut butter. That's Donovan's big fat hand. I don't think the steepness of this hill translates on video.